Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rio Cantina Mexican Grill here in Bruley on Highway 1. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'm Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Wes Reynolds with us today. Randy McKay with us today. Scott Rabelais with us today. And we're glad that you're with us here today on a gorgeous day here on the west side.
Man.
Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, part of the Las Palmas family of restaurants. We're here in Bruley today, where on Wednesdays it's a little something for the whole family. We got $5 margaritas for the grown-ups and $5 kids menu.
Come on. I mean, take care of the whole family on a Wednesday at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, both here at Bruley. We're just off LA 1, right behind Walk-Ons, and also on Prairieville. That'll get you hump day straight, man. $5 margaritas all day and $5 kids menu. So, Charlie, you love over here at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill the flavor margaritas: fresh blueberry, fresh pineapple, fresh peach, fresh raspberry. I like the fresh skinny margaritas made with agave nectar, fresh limes, fresh lemons, and fresh oranges. So, always good stuff. So, and some of the more popular menu items that I like over here is the charro soup, the carne asada, and the fresh ceviche. So yes, we're like on a Max Gotro restaurateur over here.
It is a shame the
I
mayor of
waiting.
Bruley's not here today. You know?
Why is his picture not up here next to Joe Burrow and Drew Brees? Huh? Where's Max? Huh?
It's over in the corner. You gotta look a little closer to catch him. So we got a lot to get to today. Wes is going to be with us a little bit earlier in the show than normal, and we're going to get to him in the next segment. He's probably in a giddy mood, just back from Eugene.
I bet he's never had more fun sitting in the rain.
Where his Indiana Hoosiers got the biggest win of the college football, I would say, the season so far. If it's not the best win, it's right there. I would say
it's in the conversation.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we'll talk with Wes about that. But Wednesday's SEC teleconference, Brian Kelly on there. Not a real newsy day for LSU, which I think is a good thing. The one, I guess, piece of hard news, he talked about Aaron Anderson back in practice this week. He said we expect him to do a nice job for us, though his knee is not 100%. He also talked a little bit about Clark Lee, who was, of course, on his staff. Mike Elko. Okay, so when he was on staff, Mike Elko was the defensive coordinator. They brought Clark Lee in. So the two head coaches that he will face in the next 2 weeks were on his staff at one point. And Kelly had some really nice things to say about Clark Lee, about the confidence that they're playing with this year that they didn't play with last year. That they have more confidence now.
Sometimes bringing in an alum is sort of a lazy hire, and sometimes he can provide insight and sort of pride to simulate. Every Vanderbilt coach has told us how great the job was and how they can win and everything else. Okay, including him. So, but I'm not sure if he can get it done 10 years ago at Vanderbilt, but some kind of way. I'm sure he's asking for it. There isn't a coach that doesn't ask their AD and their administration for more. I don't care what sport, what school, but he got it done, or I got to believe he was instrumental in getting it done. And also, Vandy was kind of pushing. The AD was asked questions. Y'all want to stay in the SEC? It's like, yeah. And like vehemently, and like, you see the construction in the end zone at Commonwealth Stadium. You see the roster. Was it on its way regardless of the Diego Pavia mania? I don't know, but it helped. And finally, the booster base, the alumni base, has a little something. The pride level in Vanderbilt football has never been higher. Never, ever, ever. So you want to capitalize, and I think the timing, we talk about timing all the time, is so important in coaching changes and this. They're getting it done. Maybe they started a little bit earlier. Maybe Pavia escalated. Maybe Lee was just the right voice, being an alum, having some pride in the school. Whatever it is, when you jump this much and become a favorite for the first time in 51 conference games, no, there's contributing factors. And so Clark Lee is definitely, he's a sharp cat. And his team is well coached, too.
Yes.
They're
and
well coached.
We've seen these elite academic schools have pockets of success. Stanford, Northwestern under but first Gary Barnett and then Pat Fitzgerald. Duke certainly feels a lot different now than they did.
Duke is one of
5 or
those
6 years
academic
ago.
schools, those
Yeah.
private schools that are, let's play.
Yeah, those I'm going to leave Notre Dame out because they're in a category by themselves. But
they've had a jolt.
they
have upgraded. They were
But
stale for a good stretch.
They were, but Notre Dame's level of football is totally different.
Yeah, it's completely. Yeah.
None of these schools had to do it in the Southeastern Conference, okay? But Northwestern had to do it in the Big Ten, which was, it's a big time league.
Yeah.
It's not the current Big Ten. It's the Big Ten of a little bit. Point is, the pockets of success never lasted. The coach left. A star player left. It was never sustainable, which is what's fascinating to me about Vanderbilt now is it's sustainable. Okay, they've got a coach that's more likely to stay there than they've ever had. So if he's the real deal and he's a Vanderbilt guy and he wants to stay there, okay. You talked about the level of commitment from the administration. That's something else. You get those two things going, man, and Vanderbilt is a damn attractive place to go to school. Nashville's a nice place to live. This is a degree that is worth plenty.
It's different. Like TCU and SMU and Vanderbilt, those are nice cities, but they're not college towns.
They're not. They're not.
It depends on what you want. I just went through this and kids trying to figure out where they want to land.
Yeah.
I'm talking about general students. We're not talking about the athletes.
Yeah.
But, no, Nashville's hot, but it's not a college town. So what do you want?
Right.
So it's just a matter of, kind of, it's not Athens, Tuscaloosa, just some of these just college towns where they kind of their own little bubble, which is
Auburn.
Auburn's a lot more limited than these places. These are thriving college towns. I mean, they got a lot to do in those places.
They're bustling.
Yeah.
The other news, from since last we saw you is that Garrett Nussmeier spoke yesterday for the first time in several weeks, and certainly the first time since the extent of his injuries has been made public. We're going to take a listen here to what he started off with yesterday when he met with the media.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, football is a game where you're never really fully healthy. So, it's not necessarily about that for me. It's just, trying to get the pieces going, trying to get us on the right track on offense. So, definitely there is a little bit of confidence booster there, when I'm starting to feel better. I'd be lying if I said differently. But still, just focused on the offense.
He was reluctant to talk about the injury before, and I understand why. I probably would have advised him to do the same thing because there's no way you can win if you got to go out there and talk about that. If you talk too much about the injury, it sounds like you're making excuses, and he didn't want to do that. You also may give your opponents a little bit of insight as to your limitations. So I understand why he didn't want to talk about it. Now that he is talking about it, he's acknowledging. Yeah, man. He used at one point he used the word helpless. I felt kind of helpless where this pain was concerned.
That one stuck with me too.
Yeah. So now that he feels, I think there's something. I hope I'm not reading too much into this. I think there's something to the idea that if he feels confident enough to go out and talk about this like it's behind him or mostly behind him, I think that's a very good sign.
That's exactly right. You're more comfortable. Why is he talking about it now as before? Maybe because he's turned the corner.
Yeah.
Is he still 100%? But this, you don't go from, and I thought it was ABC or ESPN. It's ESPN, the family that broadcasted the South Carolina game. When they put that graphic up, I've said, I've never seen this. But it's basically an arm strength meter, and where he went from one of the strongest arms in college football this season to one of the weakest arms in college football season. And he had to hop over 120 or so, arms to get from one place to the other. It's one of these subjective things, opinionated things, but damn it, it's gotta affect his decisions. It has to, where he doesn't have that arm arrogance like we used to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta have some of the decisions where he's just unable to do what he's been able to do. Hopefully that's the case. Now that you said, and it's exactly right, it may be behind him. He's being more forthcoming now.
When we did the film study last night, it's up on Handycast. You see him. He took some shots the other night. Now, he was protected well at other times, and he also took the opportunity to run just a couple of times, but it was on very obvious, wide open spaces. Okay, if he's got the confidence to do that. And he got up limping a couple of times. Like I said, he took some hits, but the fact that he was able to get through the whole thing and now is ready to talk about it, and you're making a turn second half of the season. Schedule's a lot tougher. It's a good sign. It doesn't mean it absolves him from, hey, man, you can't make that throw. He took responsibility for the interception down at the goal line. There was another play, we used it on film study last night, where he completes a ball to Caden Durham, and it's like, okay, you got that completion. Don't make that throw again. You really put it into harm's way, and you kind of got away with one. Nussmeier's Nussmeier. You're going to get the good and sometimes the reckless is a word at times that I would use with him. But when he's right, there's usually way more good. So hopefully this is a good sign moving forward.
We'll talk about it later because we're going to get to break and get Wes on time. But we're talking about some of the names. I put y'all on homework, the quarterbacks. Boy, his numbers are not where they should be.
Oh, no, the numbers are not going to watch.
The numbers are – they're bad.
Yeah. No,
Bad. I mean, I know, but I've been because I don't know. I mean, what they were showing against Ole Miss, I can give him a pass. Some of the things that he still did when you have a running game, when when you're not getting pressured by three, and you made some of the mistakes. Now, okay, no, you gotta tighten it up even more so when you're limited with an injury. We're here at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Brewley, just off LA1, behind Walk-Ons, and man, it's part of the Las Palmas family. When you come in here, Charles, look at this bar. I mean, clean, looks good.
Nice,
I mean, so you're going to get a really clean restaurant. It looks good. The patio area at all of the different Rio Cantinas in Las Palmas. But also, I mean, Holden Mayo would love, he'd give a glaring reviews of the bathrooms, clean as well. Just everything. And the food is fresh. And just and it's affordable. It's affordable as well. So we got a little bit of everything for people. So and we talk about 98% gluten-free skinny margaritas. We got some keto-friendly items as well, and we got all the traditional burritos, tacos, chimichangas, and fresh fish dishes and salads as well. So always generous portions, and some of the margaritas as well, including, I mean, it's family friendly, and if this ain't family friendly, one thing we like about going to Mexican restaurants, the kids can be a little louder. You can still have a margarita. You can watch the game. There's 4 TVs behind the bar over here, plenty of big screen TVs on the patio as well. But every Wednesday, $5 margaritas, $5 kids menu. I mean, it's drinking and eating with Lincoln.
Thank you very much.
Eating and drinking with Lincoln.
I love it.
Remember those? They even had drinking with Lincoln was popular when we were in school, Charlie.
Try not to date us too much.
It got to about $15 by the time you got out. But anyway, it's a little bit of everything. It's fresh. It's a clean place. The service is very, very good. We're at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Brewley, just off of LA1.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. The live at lunch.
So is West at 11:15?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what the order is today. So West is 11:15.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only change.
Okay.
And then we got Randy at 11:30.
Okay.
And then Scott Rabelais at noon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And Mid-City, Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. They can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. We're now bowling crabs at Sammy's every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday starting at 5 p.m. and on Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Wes, you ever have so much fun sitting in the rain in Eugene this past weekend?
You know, you make me want to kick my heels up and shout. They were doing that at the end of the third quarter, Jimmy, but it was nervous Autzen Stadium. It didn't quite hit because they're usually up 31-7 when they're doing it, not down 20-13. But man, what an atmosphere! If you ever get a chance, if you've never gone to a game out there, go out there. Very friendly people there in Eugene. They were very cool. You don't get that from the opposing fan base, but they were very cool and very congratulatory.
Oh, really?
Oh boy, man, it felt good to walk out of a silent crowd there in Eugene.
So, give us a little bit more, some specifics. Local places, close to campus, to good hangouts, or friendly tailgating, sharing food or drinks. Or give us a little bit more about the Autzen experience.
Downtown, probably about 10 minutes away from the campus. The stadium, by the way, is across the Willamette River. So you got a little bit of a walk if you're not like parked right there tailgating. So everybody walks over that bridge. So it's about a 20-minute walk from the actual meat of the campus.
Okay.
Which was very nice. And I went around town, saw a couple of the places where some Animal House scenes were shot, and got looked at like a weird, creepy old man by some of the young ladies there when I was taking pictures of the cafeteria because they had never seen the movie.
Food
so I could tell
fight.
they had never seen the movie. Yes,
Oh.
that boy is a pig. So it's like it was right there. But I don't think John Belushi had the option of getting Chipotle or Panda Express
Probably
in
not.
the cafeteria back then. But did that, took the drive down to a 20-minute drive outside of Eugene to the Dexter Lake Club, and did the way to Lotus sees us. He loves us. So did all that, but very, very beautiful country up there, and those facilities, by the way, unbelievable athletic facilities. I was like, man, we got to compete with these guys. They're unbelievable. So had a great time and got to come back home with a win with our national title contender, Indiana Hoosiers.
No doubt, no doubt. I think Paul Stone's power ratings, there may be 2 or 3 right now. It is the biggest win in college football this year because the road wins are bigger than the home wins. And the biggest road win, Charlie, was what? I mean, you got, Oregon going to Penn State, and obviously Penn State is,
Alabama going to Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia is a really good one,
Yeah.
but I think this is the
top,
biggest
yeah.
one, and it wasn't done with smoke and mirror. But what impressed me, they hit 7-3, and Indiana had a nice drive to make it 10-7. But the pick six, and how not just Mendoza, but that Indiana offense responded when that had to be the biggest. Okay, that's when the stadium got into the game. That's when the crowd got into the game that most. When they tied it up with the pick six. Was it late third, early fourth, Wes? And then it was like a 70-yard touchdown drive for Indiana.
Yeah, both times they responded with scores, and that's where you knew, okay, maybe this team in this program is different because that place did get finally really loud off that pick six. And Fernando Mendoza was just surgical. Those back shoulders just harassed all day long, and including the what was eventually the game-winning score to put them up 27-20. And you were right, Jimmy. Like, it wasn't smoke and mirrors. I felt on that day, on that Saturday, they were better than Oregon. And they were better at both sides of the line, the defensive line and the offensive line. And you saw it from the first play of the game. They got that sack on Dante Moore. Indiana had 6 sacks but only gave up 1 to a really athletic Oregon defense. So I thought the line play was what really won it for Indiana, and that's where it was maybe a little bit surprising because it's like, okay, are they as athletic as those guys? I don't know, but boy, they sure looked it on Saturday.
That's why they're so much improved from what they were last year at the line of scrimmage. They're not going to get pushed around by Notre Dame in the playoff this year. And I'm sorry, I don't care what you think of Illinois. You outrush a Brett Bielema team. And this is not a Bielema team in the first year of a complete makeover. This is a few years in with a lot of continuity, a team that was decent, pretty damn solid at the line of scrimmage. You outrushed them by 310 yards. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear, well, Cignetti's good against teams. This is a completely different team from last year, and as far as the ceiling is higher with the quarterback as well. Wes, let's get to your top NFL pick before we get to your college picks this week.
Yeah, let's do a couple. And I'm all Mr. Indiana. In 49 states, it's just football, but this is Indiana with the Hoosiers being number 3 and the Colts being number 1 in the AFC. This is where I think maybe the Colts stumble, though. They already stumbled in L.A. with the 1 loss against the Rams. It might be 0 for 2 in L.A. I like the Chargers on the money line against the Colts. I think the Colts have been living a little dangerously. They barely escaped against Arizona. They gave up almost 350 yards through the air against one of their former backups, Jacoby Brissett. So they've got some issues back in that secondary that certainly are concerning me. And then the pass rush was non-existent. Now, the Chargers are banged up on the O-line, but I do like the Chargers as a favorite. They're, small on the money line. It's 1.5 right now. And then let's go with an underdog. Let's go with the New Orleans Saints at plus 5.5. Didn't get there last week against the Patriots, but now you got a Bears team that was underdogs in their first 2 games at home. They were underdogs in Minnesota, and they were underdogs against Dallas. And now you're laying, close to 6 points here, and that was the opener against New Orleans. I think the Bears, maybe getting a little bit overvalued off that win on Monday night. So give me the Saints.
Chargers money line against Colts. Yeah, we were on Brissett last week in that big number. We'll take an improved passing game and a couple of points on the point spread in the transition from Murray to Brissett, and also the Saints, who we're already setting plans for the moral victory Super Bowl champions. Yes, the New Orleans Saints. They just play close. They're playing much closer than anybody expected. So anyway, Saints plus 5.5 against the Bears. It'll be interesting to see how the Bears follow up that win on Monday night, high-profile win, and also now 25-24 consecutive games for the Chicago Bears. How about that? Wes, what's your top 3 or so picks in college football this week?
Yeah, let's go Friday night first. And, you know me, I like to go dumpster diving sometimes for these sides that look like they're not going to get there but finally do. We're going to almost the bottom of the barrel Friday night. We're going to go with the North Carolina Tar Heels against Cal and take Bill Belichick and the guys and see, I think probably there's some truth to maybe an exit strategy or a separating of the ways. But I think off a bye week and with all that bad publicity, go across the country, get away from everything. Cal still doesn't really have a running game, even though his freshman quarterback's been pretty good. I think getting a double digits here is certainly worth a play on the North Carolina Tar Heels, so I am going to go ahead and take them. I'm going to take the Boilermakers of Purdue. You won't hear me say Boiler Up very often as an IU alum, but I will on Saturday. They're getting 3.5 at Northwestern. They should have beat Minnesota last Saturday and then had that late pick six. Purdue's been competing. They're still down on talent, but Barry Odom's a good coach, and I think there's a different attitude in West Lafayette with this team. So I do like Purdue getting 3.5. And then we'll give one SEC here because we're in SEC country. I think 13 is a little rich for the Longhorns, even though that was very impressive defensively against Oklahoma and Red River on Saturday. Kentucky still plays pretty darn good defense. Getting 13 at home. I think Texas kind of got the advantage of playing clearly not 100% John Mateer. So give me the Wildcats plus 13 there in Lexington on Saturday.
Purdue blows a fourth quarter lead against Minnesota, where they outgained them by nearly 200 yards, 4-to-1 turnover ratio. That'll do it every time. There's no doubt about that. The big news, though, James Franklin gone. The obvious choice, the obvious target. If I'm the AD at Penn State, I'm going after Cignetti. How is Indiana? What are they going to do to counter to hold him?
And by the way, that AD at Penn State was a former college classmate of mine by the name of Pat Kraft and a former IU football player who I think this termination, Pat had a vision that Indiana could get to this spot for football. He's a former football player in the Cam Cameron era, and he's not there in Bloomington to do it. By the way, Pat was a finalist for the AD position that was opened up a couple of years ago at Indiana. Didn't get the job. So, yeah, Cignetti is a choice. Matt Rule, of course, he has a history with hiring him at Temple. Dark horse that maybe nobody's talking about. Maybe watch John Harbaugh, too, that he might be willing to go to college. He actually was the coach of Pat on the Indiana staff, on Cam's first staff in Bloomington back in the late 90s. But I don't think Curt Cignetti is necessarily in a rush to go anywhere. I don't expect that, and I'm not going to worry about that until it's time to worry about it. And plus, Indiana does have the resources to keep this guy. They're not going to let this guy go without a fight. This is the best thing to happen in Indiana football. So I think Curt Cignetti, and I think he likes Indiana. I think he likes it that it's like, okay, I can do it with average resources. I can do this and make us a national power with average resources here. And I think there's a little bit of pride and ego for that he believes in himself enough that, hey, I just don't have to chase the big job at 64 years old. So he's got a big job right now at Indiana. So Penn State certainly, I think, is going to kick the tires, no question about it. But I actually don't expect that Curt Cignetti is going to leave Bloomington.
We will see. I would not take a passive approach about it. I can tell you that. Look, man, forget about that basketball crap, Wes. All right, y'all are football school. All right, take some of that budget over. And you guys hadn't been worth a damn in basketball in a long time. Okay?
Well, they opened it up at the end of last season.
I don't know. He's 8 or 9 million.
It's $8 million, I think, for 8 years. Wes, that they gave him after last season.
Who's his agent?
I don't know who Curt Cignetti's agent. I don't think it's because then we might be losing him to a bigger job. But we do have a fresh new donor now for Indiana football that I think is going to be familiar to the audience by the name of Mark Cuban. And Mark has never really given to IU athletics. He's given to other areas of the university, but he's got that Yinzer-Pittsburgh bond because Mark Cuban, of course, from Pittsburgh as well, with Kurt Signetti. And he's started to give some big money to IU football now. So, now might be the time for President Witten and Scott Dolson, our AD. Okay, Mark, are you in or are you out? Like on Shark Tank. Don't say you're out because we need to keep this guy here.
100, 500, whatever percent right now. It's more attractive to open up the checkbook and send it to IU, as far as the football program. So you just saw a program that flipped from a doormat to a major player, based on some of their, their booster support and their facilities and things like that. It's good to put some eyeballs on it. So now's the time for the fundraisers to, rattle the cages and get some of that IU alum to donate some money.
A quick Google search.
Athlete Speakers, the agency?
Thayer Evans. Who I know he played, they say he played college basketball somewhere in Oklahoma. I'm not familiar with it. It's not Jimmy Sexton. It's not Trace Armstrong.
Yeah. Wes, great stuff, man. Enjoy. We're happy for you, man. Let's keep it rolling, brother. They are a threat to make a run this year, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm having a blast, man. I just don't want to see it end, but let's just take care of Sparty at homecoming on Saturday.
Aiden Childs is playing. I think you could be fine. We'll follow Wes on Twitter, X at Wes Reynolds 1. Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, the Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly service is what you get with their long-standing staff at Legacy Title. 296-0060 at Rio Cantina, Mexican Grill in Bruley. Of course, the second location at Prairieville, part of the Las Palmas family, where Wednesday is good for the whole family. $5 margaritas for the adults, $5 kids menu for the kiddos.
Live at Rio Cantina, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to the Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiella at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
How about Randy McKay last week, huh?
Giants won.
Bingo.
Plus 7.5.
Ding.
Chargers and Dolphins over 42.5.
We were cheering for points.
We were
Ding.
cheering for points.
Way to go 2 with those 2 touchdown drives.
We were cheering for Dolphins points at one point.
Yes, Dolphins and points.
Yes. And the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The matchup, the schedule spot, that's what I like about Randy. I can't remember everything. Randy knows what he said in July on this show.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Coming back from London, first time start for Dylan Gabriel
I
on
mean,
the road.
well played, sir. I mean, I don't want to throw octopuses on the ice for you. I mean, I don't know what is standard to give us to extend our congratulations to you in appreciation.
Yeah, thank you guys. Or you could throw hats on the ice like they do in hockey. But,
yes, indeed.
One of them, but yeah, decent week, and everything turned out pretty well.
Very, very good. Very good. The Giants, man, especially on Thursday night, that was good. And Charlie, we were watching Cleveland, Pittsburgh intently, and it just that was a tough spot. I mean, it's Pittsburgh just methodically, even trying to get through the back door. I mean, and Max says that Stefanski is a guy that usually goes for down 14. What would you say, Randy? Maybe a little over half now in the NFL will go for that 2 to try and put it on 6 in that spot, and that's what it was setting up. I think it was 1st and goal, and good thing that you get down early before it went up at 5.5. We would have avoided that, but a lot of people had 6.5s on that game. But Stefanski, what is the percentage of NFL coaches that go for it down 14 when they score a touchdown late?
Well, it should be all of them, but unfortunately it isn't. I guess they like to take a 3% disadvantage. Some of them, we saw Gannon make that mistake on Thursday Night Football. I truly believe Stefanski was going to go for 2 there, so that would have cut it maybe to 6. But our defense held, and pretty easy. That was a pretty easy victory from start to finish, even though Pittsburgh's offense got they got down the field, but Cleveland plays that bend but don't break, and eventually that defense tired. That really good defense that gets tired out, and that game worked out pretty well for us.
Speaking of Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, they're back at home now, and Dylan Gabriel just kind of okay, but limited, I guess. I'm Charlie and Randy. I mean, just kind of, we see a guy with his undersized, arm strength not as much, but looks comfortable to a degree because he's had, close to 70 starts in college. But I mean, where is he right now? I mean, he's fighting uphill a little bit. Cleveland Browns a favorite this week over the Miami Dolphins. I bet Miami likes playing in mid-October instead of mid-December, Randy.
Yeah, and that's the reason I'm going to take them here. Battle of the one-win teams here. Battle of two left-handed quarterbacks. You don't get this matchup very often. I can't remember even the last time two lefties faced each other, but we get it here. I trust Tua and the Miami offense a little bit more here to keep this game, relatively close. Mitt probably win in the end. I was surprised this game went from 2.5 to 3, so figure at +3. I'll sign up for the Miami Dolphins, even though their defense still a little banged up. I still like this defensive coach, Weaver, has proved that he can put up a game plan on the road, and he'll give this young quarterback Gabriel some fits here. And, Cleveland, would they get 3 field goals last week, and might be a similar situation in a low-scoring game here. So getting +3 with a low total here makes Miami look like a pretty good bet. So on the Dolphins on the road.
Randy, you first, then Charlie. The 32 quarterbacks that are scheduled to start this weekend. I'm sorry, it's good 30 with the Ravens and Bills, but let's conclude them. Where would you have Gabriel ranked?
Well, I'd have him ranked way behind a lot of bad. I'd take Andy Dalton or Brissett or, you name any of the really good backups, and I would take any one of them ahead of him for sure. And, there's some decent backups out there, older guys that are better than any of these rookies. So, I have him pretty low.
I would too. We need to see more. But for now,
but right now for this Sunday,
in the bottom 5.
I got him 30. You know I have behind him
Geno Smith.
Yeah. And Fields.
Yeah, Fields. You know what surprised me about the game, though, when I took a look at it, is that they went away from Quinshon Judkins, who had really been good the previous 3 weeks. I mean, they had leaned into him, and they only gave him 12 carries against the Steelers, and that surprised me that they put as much on Gabriel's plate as they did. What Judkins has been pretty good for him the first 3 weeks.
Speaking of Jacoby Brissett, we were on him on Sunday as one of my picks on Football Sunday. Went the 4-1 picks. And could have won the game easily. Colts are lucky to win, but the Colts are 5-1 in their offensive line play. Everybody's talking about Jones, Taylor, but the offensive line play is allowing them to have really good years right now. The defense is, pretty mediocre. We know about the game that, they stole away from Denver at the end. Now they travel to Los Angeles. Chargers are banged up as well. Chargers is coming off of that loss. I'm sorry, the win. They stole it at the end. They didn't cover against the Miami Dolphins. Big Dog, you looking at this spot here where the Colts may have some issues. They've lost already in this stadium, going back to it.
Yeah, battle of the 5-1 versus 4-2. Good matchup here. I'm going to go with the home team here, and the Chargers, they'll probably have, who knows, those will probably be 50-50 fans in the stands on this one, but they never draw too much there as far as their fan base, which they probably should have stayed in San Diego, but of course we know that didn't work out. I see this as a similar spot where the Colts went to the Rams and lost. Could have been a different game had that kid not, we've seen that plague of fumbles at the goal line or whatever, that receiver kind of cost them in that game a little bit against the Rams. But I see the Chargers getting maybe a little help here. I think Joe Alt might be back, and another offensive lineman also might be back. So that'll help. I trust, trust Justin Herbert and company to get some yards versus this Colts defense that looks a little weak to me, that Arizona picked apart here. And going against a little better defense here, this Charger defense, pretty impressive. And I think they'll get some turnovers and, make Daniel Jones make a little bit more like the previous Daniel Jones instead of Indiana Jones that he's been this year.
Real surprise for the Chargers last week. Kamani Vidal, second year back out of Troy, basically came close to matching his career total in rushing yards. So that rushing attack, no Amari and Hampton, no Najee Harris, plus the 2 tackles are out, and they were still able to run the ball last week. Vidal was a complete surprise.
Yeah, Harbaugh going to still try and run it, no matter what his depth chart looks like. So Chargers a slight 1.5-point favorite at home against the Indianapolis Colts. So maybe looking for the Colts to take a little bit of a slip. But Randy, what kind of team as the Colts, what do they look like to you? 10, 11 win type of team, or are they going to settle down to 9? I mean, you think they're going to hold on and win that division?
Yeah, I see them Houston and Jacksonville still kind of playing it out here. There's still a lot of games to be played. So I believe they can probably hold on here. I do like the adjustments that, of course, Lou Anarumo makes on the defense. That's been a big improvement for him. So that'll be a little key in this game, too. And hopefully he doesn't make the really good second-half adjustments like he's known for.
All right, we got a doubleheader on Monday night, but this one is split up with the times. I've been experimenting with this to see which draws better ratings. Early game at 6 o'clock our time kickoff, Detroit against Tampa Bay. How about Baker? Baker and he would be the MVP right now. His odds now, he's down to second choice. I jumped on it earlier, plus 475. It's down to plus $3, and that's just over the last 24 hours or so. Houston Texans in Seattle Seahawks in a late game in Seattle, and boy, Seattle at home has struggled as of late. I don't know if that's just coincidental. I don't know what that is to it. But here's the matchup here. The fourth best passing game, fourth most potent passing game with Sam Darnold and Smith and Jigba against the number 1 defense in the league, scoring defense. The Texans only giving up 12.2 points a game. And, well, Smith and Jigba and Stingley, that's worth the price of admission, too. That's a great matchup. But you're looking at the Seahawks at home, minus the 3 points.
Yeah, -3 there at DraftKings. You get a 2-3 Houston team against 4-2 Seattle. I think the bye came at the wrong time here for Houston. This early bye sometimes you can either come at the right time or the wrong time. They're coming off 2 wins, starting to get it going, and then all of a sudden this bye hits them. Of course, they got a benefit going against a Raven team that had over half their team injured in that game that they last played. So I like to go against, I've said this many times, going against bad offensive lines, especially on the road, in a loud place like Seattle. It's going to give the Seattle defensive line more help here, and that Seattle defensive line should dominate this Houston offensive line, not giving Stroud any time, and Houston hasn't had much of a running game as well, so I don't see anything there. I just been impressed, I think I said this last week or week prior that I've been impressed with Donald and, Smith, Jigba there. The combination's been really good here for this Seattle offense, and I think they'll get a little bit more offense here than Houston will and be able to cover the 3. We also played, if you want a Monday night doubleheader, if this game gets back to 6, we did take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at +6, but that line went down, and I didn't want to give you that on the sheet. So just these 3 for now, unless.
Would you take it at 4.5, 5, Randy?
Yeah, I think it'll go back up to the 6.
Okay.
So I would wait to the 6 for the viewers out there.
All right. Follow Randy on Twitter. Of course, he communicates us with Football Sunday to give us any late additions. Football Sunday this week coming to you from the Queen Casino and the DraftKings Sportsbook right here in Baton Rouge. Big Dog, great week last week. Let's keep it up, man. Good luck to you this weekend.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good luck to LSU this week. Surprised they're an underdog versus Vanderbilt, but good luck, everybody out there.
There we go.
I'm glad to hear him say that. Trust his opinion.
Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. Go Chevrolet. Had a little issue this past weekend with the vehicle. Some electrical stuff was just kind of going wonky on my vehicle. So I called the folks over at Go Chevrolet in their service department at, toll free, 866-575-5801. And Lee and Miss Danielle got with me, told them the symptoms. They said, okay, will it start? Yes, it will. Bring it over to the show at Chris's Specialty Foods on Monday. Got there about 10:15. They showed up at 10:15, gave me the loaner car with their concierge service. They evaluated, told me what was wrong, did the work on it, and yesterday afternoon brought the vehicle back up to me, and I exchanged the loaner from my house. And it's that concierge service department and everything. Paid mobilely on the phone, communicated with Danielle from the service department, but she didn't weigh me down. Just relaying important information when the driver would be showing up with the loaner and exactly on time, and just pertinent information without just weighing you down and just time. Very efficient process. Love that concierge service department over at Go Chevrolet. Go Chevrolet in LaPlace. Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Plaquemine.
Live at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Brewley, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU. Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Also, new handicast up, new film study up right now on YouTube. Blue Jays and Mariners, the only baseball game today. It is a night game. Mariners trying to go up 3-0 in that series. It's Kirby and Bieber going tonight. That is a 7 o'clock game. We also got college football tonight. Couple of smaller games. You got to be a diehard. Hey, you a diehard, Jimmy? UTEP at 1-5 against Sam Houston.
A couple of money line dogs, man. One just missed going to overtime last night. So the 3 games. So 3-0 against the spread. The dogs.
Hour number 2 straight up at Rio Cantina, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks in every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in Louisiana who are 21 or older. Licensed through Horseshoe Bossier City and Caesars New Orleans. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the Wingo trebles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. We're now bowling crabs at Sammy's every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday starting at 5 p.m. and on Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
This is Buzzy Hydell for the Morris Insurance Group. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now finding policies to fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look again. For owners or renters, the Morris Insurance Group can help you all the way to the duck camp or the fishing boat. We also have policies on coastal properties, including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves in the event of damage. For your camps, boats and trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors, get a quote today at morris-ig.com or call 225-201-0007.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, 2 local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Respect isn't something that's just given, it's earned. It comes from having experience and possessing knowledge that can be passed on to the next generation. Jim's Firearms.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And return here at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Bruley. Come on by and see us for lunch. Our first stop here at the Rio Cantina in Bruley, part of the Las Palmas family of Mexican restaurants that we're certainly enjoying our time with. We bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate, who's in a particularly good mood today because we have now passed the Rab solstice. That means that we're closer to the next Masters than we are past the last Masters. Jimmy has one of these for Del Mar. You know, whenever you get closer to the next Del Mar trip than the last Del Mar trip, that's when he gets excited.
I tried to rent my place for the summer 2 weeks ago. They said, "Sir, we don't open up these properties till 6 months in advance." Patience, grasshopper.
You know, I mean, tell me you immediately put the notification in your phone to remind you.
Yes,
I believe this.
5:15 a.m. on that day. Yes,
I believe that. Rab, yesterday, Garrett Nussmeier felt, I want to say comfortable, was willing to talk about the injury really for the first time since it became known. What did you make of his comments yesterday about having to work through the injury?
Yeah, still a little guarded, you know, but yes, more than he's been willing to talk about it. This is how frustrated he was, or has been, not being able to do the things to perform physically the way Garrett Nussmeier knows he can perform, and you know, not making the throws and just having to gut through some of those things, and you know, he seems like, you know, yeah, while he didn't make, you know, those turnovers, you know, through those 2 interceptions against South Carolina, I think he feels more confident. And you know, as Brian Kelly talked about earlier, the swagger, the Garrett Nussmeier. You're not going to have Garrett Nussmeier without the occasional mistake. He thinks he can fit a ball in a mail slot, you know, but he's going to be more of the Garrett Nussmeier we saw last year going forward, barring another injury. And of course, he did have the ankle Saturday against Vanderbilt. In fact, Monday when we South Carolina, when we were leaving the building, we saw him carrying a walking boot, not wearing it, but carrying it. So obviously he'd been in it over the weekend. So that's a little bit of a concern. But he seems to be getting better in terms of being able to throw, and he feels better and feels more confident in his abilities. So that's all a good sign for LSU in the offense.
You know, he used at one point he felt helpless. Did he ever let on what exactly? I know he didn't get too specific, but what he was restricted from doing, or what his body wouldn't let him do during this injury?
Not physically, but I mean, not specifically, but I think it's just the fact that he couldn't make all the throws that he wanted, or make them the way that he wants to do them, and he knows he knows he's missed on some deep balls that could have been touchdowns for LSU. And I think Saturday we saw him make the throws. Yeah, he had a couple of mistakes, yes, and he acknowledged that. That especially the one, bad mechanics on the first half interception. Just kind of his body was opened up in the second half when he just didn't make the right read. But I think it's just feeling like when you got an arm like that and you can't throw the ball like you want to, and you can. It's got to be very frustrating, and I think he feels,
more like himself now from last Saturday going into this Saturday.
The offensive coordinator is always a convenient punching bag. It doesn't matter what college, pro, whatever. How much do you think Joe Sloan's play calling has been affected by Nussmeier's health or lack thereof?
I think definitely. Charlie and Jimmy, it just seems to me that a lot of LSU's offense has been a lot of horizontal, instead of vertical. A lot of passes in the flats and obviously runs around the ends with receivers and trying to be a little gimmicky with the running game. We saw less gimmicky with the running game Saturday, and we saw more passes downfield with Nussmeier, especially that touchdown pass to Kyle Parker certainly comes to mind. A nice crossing route, perfect. Hits him in stride. He doesn't break stride, and he's able to just take it to the house. So, I think definitely it's limited them. As you often say, Charlie, I've heard you say on the show, go to the quarterback and say, what can you do? What do you feel comfortable with? And obviously there were things he didn't feel that comfortable with, or maybe they tried them, like the deep pass to Chris Hilton in the Ole Miss game that got broken up that he was wide open on, or the deep pass to Berrien Brown against Louisiana Tech that wound up as an interception. So, yeah, I think it's definitely been somewhat limiting. I'm still not. I don't think Joe Sloan's the best offensive coordinator in America, but I think there's more things they can do within their repertoire, within their playbook, with a healthier Garrett Nussmeier for sure.
Okay, well then let me ask you, following this game, their most effective run game against quality competition, where your level of confidence is in the running game moving forward.
It's got to be able to travel on the road, doesn't it? I mean, I think better. I mean, I expect more than in the Ole Miss than they showed in the Ole Miss game. How about that? I think 166 yards again, that would be ideal. Obviously, but 150 would be a good target for LSU. 140 yards even on the ground. It was a nice mix Saturday. 33 passes to 30 rushes. Then 30 rushes included 2 times. Nussmeier took a knee at the end of the game, but still, 30 carries overall. Pretty nice balance. I think that would be a good balance for LSU to have going forward. You can only have that kind of balance if your running game is being somewhat reasonably effective. So I think they can be better. I mean, obviously it's encouraging. Obviously the offensive line is still kind of a concern. Is Mabinga? What's his situation? Is Weston Davis? They're probably going to stick with Weston Davis at right tackle. I'd like to see more Carius Kern, but they're the guys coaching and watching the film every single day. So you have to at least give them some credit that they know what they're doing. So, but I think the offensive line can be better, and the running game can be better with a healthy Caden Durham, and we'll see, because they need to have some balance and to keep Vanderbilt off the field. Speaking of Vanderbilt's offense, Diego Pavia also had 2 red zone. He had 2 red zone turnovers himself, a fumble and an interception Saturday. So, whichever quarterback can more limit the mistakes, I think gives their team a great chance to win.
Yeah, that's a good point. And as far as the run game, what we saw in the film study last night, it's up on YouTube right now. Handycast film study. With
I love the film study. But I highly endorse it.
Well, so what we saw a little bit last night, Cohen Eccles is coming on a little bit. Now, look, we put some good plays, we put some bad plays in the run game in there last night to look at. And what was most encouraging to me is Eccles, for one, showed a little nastiness. There were a couple of times where he drove guys into the ground. Also encouraging was the fact that in the fourth quarter, they had probably 2 or 3 of the best executed runs of the year, including the one that they busted for 56 yards. On the downside, some of the runs we put in there that went for no gain or for a loss, there's still bad technique being employed on the right side. And then there were a couple of just, flat out missed assignments. There was one where Thompson fell down. Okay, that's going to happen. But there's something there. It can be built on. They just have to keep at it. And I'm with you. Brian Kelly gave the vote of confidence for Weston Davis. God bless. He did a few good things in the game on Saturday. He's got to get better. There's some missed assignments in there. There's some bad techniques in there. But in the fourth quarter, there were a couple of good things too. So you hope that they build on that. Well, let me ask you about Vandy though. You've been covering this league as long as we have, a little bit longer actually than than I have. We've never seen this version of Vanderbilt. We've never seen them. This is the first time in any Vanderbilt fan's lifetime, pretty much, that they're going to walk into the stadium against an opponent of this caliber, a top 10 opponent, favored, okay, that they should expect to win. Scott, what do you make of that? Because sometimes it's harder to handle success than it is to handle failure.
Well, it's certainly uncharted territory for Vanderbilt, which has never won the SEC. They're no charter member of the SEC and has never won it. They were very good back in the day, but this is the first time LSU plays a ranked. Now that they play very often, now obviously, but first time LSU plays a ranked Vanderbilt team since 1947. So this is very rare territory here, and like you said, for them to be a favorite, it's a little different. I mean, they're kind of a darling now. They people expect more from Vanderbilt, and so there's pressure now for Vanderbilt. It's like, okay, you're at home, you're against a top 10 team, you're a favorite. Can they handle that pressure? It's an interesting dynamic for a program that can't draw on anything unless you go back to the 1930s or something like that. They're obviously, that means nothing to these current players or coaches. They built confidence. Brian Kelly said that on the SEC coaches teleconference today. He said the difference between the Vanderbilt team last year is that they thought they could do it, and this year they have confidence that they can win. So that's a plus for Vanderbilt, certainly, and having a quarterback like Diego Pavia, who's got his own swagger and brings an attitude to the game that Vanderbilt players have been better at Latin declensions than at winning debates, than winning football games over the years. But he gives them a little different thing. And as I know y'all have talked about the spreading of the talent throughout college football with the transfer portal and NIL has certainly benefited Vanderbilt as well. That said, I just can't wrap my head around Vanderbilt beating LSU in the clutch, in a big game that's big for both teams, and LSU has a quality team, since 1990, and of course that 1990 game you and I remember, Charlie. It was an offensive pass interference call. I think it was pretty questionable attention on Todd Kitchen in that game, so that cost LSU the game and maybe cost Mike Archer his job that year. So anyway, going back to your point. There is pressure on Vanderbilt. It is unfamiliar, uncomfortable territory for Vanderbilt. We'll see if it affects them Saturday in what should be, an interesting atmosphere for a game, early game that's tough for LSU to deal with. But it's going to be different for them. While it's not different, it's certainly a comfort zone for LSU.
I think that interference play, the Kitchen game, was 11:30 TBS start well early in the game. Charlie, give Scott, because he was saying I can't wrap my head around Vandy, being a favorite over. Give Scott the LSU rushing and stop the rush.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have better. They have better rush stats and rush defense stats than both Alabama and Georgia, who are considered to be the heavyweights when it comes to offensive and defensive line play in this thing. I heard Aaron Taylor say on I think CBS was one of the podcasts or broadcasts. He said he thinks that that Vanderbilt has the best offensive line in the SEC. Diego Pavia is one thing, okay? In this day and age, you can find a quarterback. You might stumble backwards into one. Cam Ward was playing at Incarnate Word and ended up being the number one pick in the draft a couple years later. So you might fall backwards into a really talented quarterback, but you don't fall backwards into 8 or 10 linemen.
Mommy was doing the gimmick stuff, but they couldn't stop the run or run the ball, and that's why that put a ceiling on how serious we could take them.
Right.
So. No, and that's the thing with Kelly too. He might be an underdog. It might be a tough game. He gets no credit for beating Vanderbilt, and he gets a lot of blame if he loses.
That's a great question, Rab. How much does the heat turn up on Brian Kelly? And we're not talking about getting fired, but anything like that. But if they lose to Vanderbilt,
nobody around here wants to hear about their rushing statistics or Aaron Taylor, thinking that they have. And I don't think they have the points well taken. Yeah. They're way better up front than they've been.
They don't want to hear about it at Ole Miss. You know they're not going to want to hear about it at Vanderbilt. And Ole Miss has been pretty good. Rab, what happens if they lose?
Well, obviously makes LSU have to win out. You have to figure, some 9-3 team might make the college football playoff this year, but you can't count on it. So it pretty much confirms everyone's worries that LSU made all this effort to build this roster and spend all this money that they're not going to make the college football playoff. So I don't think Brian Kelly's getting fired this year or anything like that. But if they don't make the playoff, but I do think it kind of confirms people's feelings about him and this team. Like, can they really do it? Can they really do it? Can they really come through in the clutch if they lose this game because of what they have coming down the road? I mean, a top, what's right now a top 4 Texas A&M team, a top 10 ranked Alabama team, and then an Oklahoma team that looks more beatable now after they lost to Texas, on the road, but has a very formidable defense. So you got 4 ranked teams left on your schedule. You gotta win. You got to win 3 out of 4. You have to figure, and that's a tough task. 3 of them on the road, so it's a very tough task. But it's people don't want to hear that. They think it's LSU, it's Vanderbilt. You're supposed to win, and if you don't win, this is further ammunition that LSU can't and won't get it done under Brian Kelly this year or in the future.
Last thing, we got about a minute. Thoughts on the Penn State opening?
I don't think it's as look. They haven't won the national championship since 1986, right? I don't think it's as great a job as some people are making it out to be. It's in a remote place. It's the Northeast compared to the Southeast. I think it's a very good job, but I think getting a Signetti to go over there is going to be difficult. I think Matt Rule seems like the guy. I know Brian Kelly's name has been thrown out there on some national lists, but I think it's just a little to round out a list. Although he's from that part of the country. I don't think you want to make another move unless he feels like he needs an outlet. But I think Brian Kelly is not their first choice either. I think Rule or Signetti would be the guys. And I've heard Urban Meyer's name. So it can be a very good job, but obviously it's a program that has not regained what they once were. For whatever reason, the Paterno scandal, Franklin's inability to win the big games or whatever. So I don't know. I just think it's a tier below some of these other jobs, frankly, including the LSU job. As long as a handful of others.
LSU job is better, but Penn State, I would have them around 11 to 15. I don't have it as good as Michigan.
Sure.
I don't have it as good as Ohio State for sure. Michigan, USC, and Oregon, I could listen to conversations, but kind of. Those are close, but I kind of like Oregon a little bit better than Penn State. So if they're 4th in the Big Ten, they're probably just outside the. It's a better job than Notre Dame.
Yeah, let me
I'm asking.
Yeah, let me throw a number at you.
It's not Texas. It's not Alabama. It's not LSU.
In the last
Georgia.
In the last year, Penn State has committed $700 million.
No, they got money,
to facilities upgrades, and so you don't build this beautiful neighborhood and put it where it's going to be in a flood zone. You put $700 million into the stadium and the facility. It would be foolish not to come back and put some money into NIL. You don't want a crappy team to be playing in this palace that they're building.
Preseason rankings get you fired. And when's the last time they've been number 2? You better go back to Paterno.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long time. So their whole thing, they gave them all in. The players that they retained, the players that they added, everything that's in. If not now, then when? The schedule, it was in.
But don't you think if they're putting $700 million into this, they're willing to pay Franklin $50 million to go away.
Oh.
They're willing to put some more money into the next guy. Don't you think the NIL money's coming?
It's still just outside the top 10. It's still a very good job.
Yeah. Rab, any thoughts on the $700 million?
Sure. They got money and the commitment, but it's still, it's still not exactly where you're. It's not Athens, Georgia. You can't move the school to someplace like that. You got to recruit nationally to Penn State, and sometimes some years kind of like Oregon. That's what makes the Oregon job to me a notch below an LSU or a Texas or a Georgia. Some years you can hit on those guys, and some years you might not. So I agree with Jimmy. I think it's in the teens somewhere, But obviously, they flashed the money, but they're not the last school that's going to do that. Obviously, Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher gave schools the the go ahead, the green light to blow a lot of money on a buyout, and we'll see where it goes. I think they're probably banking James Franklin gets another job, which he probably will. But,
and the money offsets, sure. If he does, I'd go to the Caribbean myself, but that's just me. Reb, we appreciate it. Safe travels to Nashville. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, over here at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill in Brewley, of course, our other location in Prairieville. But the great thing about we got very affordable lunch specials that are available 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. You do the one taco and one enchilada, the two tamales and an enchilada, the lunch fajitas, the light bite, which I got last time with the choice of fajita chicken, fajita beef, or shrimp sauteed with pico de gallo, served with grilled vegetables and guacamole. Tamales, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas. I mean, you name it over here. Fresh fish tacos, brisket or asada tacos as well. Lunch specials here at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Don't forget our friends at Workbox Services. Workbox Services, movable storage needs, commercial and or residential. Shipping containers come in all different sizes. And now we have a second location to even serve you better, all the way down to the Gulf South, through New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and all the way to Lake Charles. Our great team, Martine Senior's added some, as we're growing, more staff. Martine Jr., Hannah, Brandy, Chris Brooks, all allowing you to serve all of these extended areas with our second location and our building staff. Workbox and Workbox Services, 343-4886.
Live at Rio Cantina, live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
Get the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference. All in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store, now having expanded into LaRose and Lockport. With the Lockport Store, the LaRose Store, all of your hardware, but also all of your outdoor kitchen needs, all your tailgating needs are taken care of at these properties. Online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. You can get to all four property stores from that website. And same-day pickup is available. Also, delivery on a lot of items is available for you at the Thibodeau Store.
All right, some college football notes. And first, let's start with some injury updates. The teleconference today, SEC teleconference, Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer said that Jam Miller is questionable for Saturday's game against Tennessee. Left the game late. After a reception from Ty Simpson. He had 20 carries for 85 yards. Charlie, I talked about Durham for LSU, Miller for Alabama. It is a dip to the other running backs for both of these teams. And speaking of Tennessee, 34-31, they hold on. They were up 34-17. They benefited in winning the turnover battle 3-0 against Arkansas. But Arkansas, 29 first downs and 496 yards. With a Miller who was doubtful, now questionable. Well, if you're looking for some Ty Simpson tickets, this seems like he is set up for a big day. Revenge spot here for Alabama as well.
Well, excuse me, I got to talk nice about Alabama here for a second.
You don't have to talk.
It makes me choke. Makes me choke.
DeBoer, by the way, 3 of 3 on fourth downs in the Missouri game.
Tennessee has just been so porous defensively.
Yes.
And for a team as hot offensively as Alabama, even with this spread north of a touchdown, it's hard for me to back Tennessee here.
Other injury information: Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt. We know about the run they had, and he was one of the leading candidates for Heisman coming into this year. He was out in the game in Salt Lake City against Utah. They lost 42-10. Backup Jeff Sims, remember him at Georgia Tech, 3.3 yards an attempt. That's really bad. 124 yards passing. It was ugly. Leavitt took all of the first-team reps yesterday in Tuesday's practice for Arizona State. They have Texas Tech coming to town on Saturday night.
That's surprising, the update, because when they talked on Sunday after the game, it did not sound like he was coming back this week. Also for them, both starting safeties, I believe, are going to be out this weekend, plus one of their starting offensive linemen, the left guard. So Leavitt was the big one, but they have other injury problems to talk about too.
BYU 33-27 in overtime at Tucson in Arizona. 2 interference penalties aided the BYU game-tying drive that tied it with just 19 seconds to go. It felt like it was they had 17 downs or something. I mean, all right, 15th down. It just seemed like a lot, but BYU escapes are still undefeated. Holy War, they're a home dog to Utah this weekend at 3.5, catching 3.5 at Provo.
Yeah, and I've liked what I've seen out of BYU. They're not flashy, but they're very, very tough. I've looked at this game. It's in my bullpen for the pick five, for the 5-pack on Friday.
USC, are they becoming more physical? We talk about there's a ceiling, and certainly with Lincoln Riley teams, there's that ceiling, which has limited them because they don't run the ball and they can't stop the run. Well, I mean, you got to start with that if you want to try and make a serious run. They held Michigan to 109 yards rushing. They outrushed Michigan 224 to 109. Now, if they're going to beat Michigan, that's one thing. It was one of my 5-pack, the whole thing, but, they had them at home. Maeva is number 1 in the country in yards per attempt. Okay, so the passing game is there. Underwood is an inconsistent true freshman at this point. He'll have his better days down the line, but the spot, no, they're not ready. But USC outrushed Michigan 224 to 109. Chance coming more physical, more complete.
Yeah, here's the thing with Notre Dame. A&M's defense has gotten so much better since Mike Elko started calling the play. About the same time, something happened at Notre Dame. Now, I can't point to something like a play calling deal like at A&M, but after the
They
first
have been better defensively.
After the
yeah.
first 3 weeks where they were just kind of, giving up yards in big chunks against Arkansas, 13 points, only 15 first downs. Arkansas's got some offensive weapons, okay? Against Boise State, okay, but 7 points. Against NC State, who's not terrible, 7 points. The last 3 weeks, they've been a lot better. Now, Maeva and those two receivers are a whole city block ahead of what they've been playing the last 3 weeks, but they have been a lot better defensively.
I love the 24 with NC State because C.J. Abrams is going to be able to throw the ball,
Bailey.
and they were going to move. They're going to get points and yards. Wrong. Didn't happen. 3 interceptions. It was a rough day. So, yeah, they are improved. Speaking of
If he's ever going to be the quarterback at LSU, you're going to have to learn his name.
Bailey, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just want to talk about the middle infielder for the Padres.
I know. You get a mental block. I can't.
Bailey's much taller than Abrams, and he's
6'6".
Both have good arm strength.
Right, right. I agree.
Speaking of Elko, it was after Notre Dame game, but it was after a bye. You see how teams can kind of make some adjustments on operational things, and LSU off of a bye. Were they more committed to the running game? You betcha, against South Carolina. And that's where they made that defense. And here we go again, their third down defense. It's a weekly update with the dominance on third down. This past weekend against Florida was 1 for 10 on third downs. The week before, State was 1 for 10. Auburn, including fourth downs, was 0 for 15. That's a smooth 2 for 35, Charlie. Will it translate to the road now? All these 3 games were at home, and now the next 4 of 5 to end the season in the conference are on the road.
So this has just been a goofy series. It's been a kind of a wild series. This is the first time they played in Fayetteville since 2013. Most of these games have been in Jerry World. The last 5 games, Texas A&M has won 4, covered once. So Arkansas there's been some goofy things happen in these games. I remember
and the one they didn't cover was atrocious. That was when they're going up 14, and KJ Jefferson sticks the ball out.
That's what I was about to
and
say.
gave him the 100-yard
pick
a scoop and score. Oh yes, the one they did was the worst one. Yes.
Yeah, so this is a lot of points to give Arkansas. They looked better last week offensively. Bobby Petrino, okay, we know what he can do. They put up a lot of points in Tennessee last week.
It's Bobby Petrino's turn now. Wild, goofy, however adjective you want to use. How's Arkansas going to blow this one again? It's every year in that one. Talking about Georgia and Auburn, talking about we know about the play, but what a brutal call. What a brutal call. You up 17-0. That is going to be probably too steep of a hill for Georgia to come back against a really good defense in Auburn on the road. And then at the end, it's a play where one timeout, less than 2 minutes to go. So a first down, no touchdown. It's kneel time. And then Stockton, who had plenty of room, a cushion of about 8 yards, but just plenty of easy space to go down. He goes in. So, I don't know. Karma for Auburn. I mean, the hideaway play in Norman. This play, you erase it. Man, for Auburn. Is this karma? Is this karma, Hugh Freeze? Is this karma? That was an accidental phone call. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a little karma?
Let me tell you why I like Auburn this week besides the karma. And I do think they're due to have something happen positive for them, okay?
But Hugh Freeze was he was lying, Charlie. He was
I know, of
he
course.
deserved to have something negative.
Of course. The date on Saturday is October the 18th. This is the first game that they have played on the road, Missouri. I mean,
yes.
It is October the
yes.
18th, and they have not played a game on the road yet. And I'm sorry, I think that hurts you when you go that long and you're very used to the cozy confines and all that stuff. You know me and scheduling. This is they wanted to schedule all their non-conference games at home this year, or that's how it fell. I guess they returned that trip to Kansas, and then the SEC gave them their first 2 games at home. That's just how it fell. But be that as it may, this is their first road trip. I think they may be walking into a buzzsaw.
Got a few more if you want to when we come back from break. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. You know, running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact our great team of bankers, Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, and David Henry, and discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, more cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, 2 local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Here at Rio Cantina, live at lunch. We're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Those hard to insure properties and items like your duck hunting and your fishing camps that are in areas where you're near the coast. You need flood insurance. They can help you out. Look again if you think that the prices are a little bit out of whack. They'll be able to help you out there. Some of your boats, your trailers, your RVs, your tractors, your trailers, all of those things, those hard to insure items. Get a quote from the Morris Insurance Group. Morris-IG.com is the website. You can call 201-0007. That's 225-201-0007. As for Buzzy Hydell for auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and commercial insurance as well, it is the Morris Insurance Group. And go to morris-ig.com. More college football as we make the turn here for the end of the week.
UCLA now 2-1 with interim coach, 2-0 with Jerry Neuheisel, Rick's son, calling the plays. Here's their drive chart. They fell behind 7-0. They went 10 plays, 46 yards, and a field goal. Second drive was three plays, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Third drive, 10 plays, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Fourth drive, 8 plays, 32 yards, touchdown. A missed field goal. Second half, 11 plays, 62 yards, touchdown. Next drive, 4 plays, 33 yards, touchdown. It wasn't until 7:16 in the fourth quarter where they punted up 38-13. Trying to run a clock at that point.
Yeah.
Now they faked a punt in there for one of them, but man, Nico, and look, he made a couple of throws. It is unreal, the difference that this has made.
I can't say that I've been more shocked by anything. I thought Penn State was going to go in there and blow the doors down. I almost put it in my 5-pack and didn't want to, somewhere in the back of my brain it said, 24-point road favorite, stop it. So I didn't, but I really liked them. Let me talk about Maryland here for a second, though. They have been outscored in the last 2 fourth quarters.
Maryland or Michigan State?
Well, they're playing Maryland this week, right?
Okay, right. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But
They have been outscored 31-0 in the last 2 fourth quarters. They took the lead. Now, these are both games at home. They took the lead to the fourth quarter against Washington, got outscored 21-0. They took the lead to the fourth quarter against Nebraska, got outscored 10-0. Ended up losing both games. They covered in both games, but they lost both games. Now they got to go back on the road. It's only the second road game of the year. They have faded pretty seriously in the last 2 weeks.
Well, you always cut me off, huh? That was my next note.
Sorry.
So, yes, including up 20-3 going into fourth quarter against Washington, and last week the game winning touchdown for Nebraska score with 1 minute and 8 seconds. So yeah, the Terrapins, how will they rebound from 2 home fourth quarter leads? Very good, Charlie. We're in sync here.
All
See
right.
how they're staying into the Big Ten. Here's a misleading score for you: Minnesota and Purdue. What trophy are they? Is that the old Oaken bucket?
No, that's Indiana and Purdue. Just not the Florida.
Florida Rosedale is
That's,
Iowa, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's not right. Oh gosh.
Battle of the Big Drum.
Where's Chris? Where's Chris when I need him? My old game day producer, he knew all of them because he played them on the video game.
Purdue had a 20-13 lead in middle of the fourth quarter. Minnesota ties it up with 7:47 to go. On the next play from scrimmage, a pick six from 25 yards after a touchback. Purdue loses 27-20. They won the first down battle 25-17. They outgained Minnesota by close to 200 yards, 456 to 262. Purdue was right there. It's a tough loss against row the boat for Minnesota and P.J. Fleck.
Purdue can score. They can't stop anybody. That has been their problem all year. They were within shouting distance of three pretty good teams, USC, Notre Dame, and Illinois. But they were never really in a position to make a run at any one of those games and win them. They just didn't get completely blown out of the stadium. This was the first game against a quality competition that they had a chance to win, and they didn't quite get there.
Two more for you, and that is, first of all, at the Clemson Tigers. They're done, right? Huh? Well, they've been a pretty big bully, and, well, even with taking a foot off the gas, up 35-3 against North Carolina, they went 38-10. I mean, they're not getting outscored, but 7-3. If they're trying to still run it up. This past week, another big favorite. They cash it easily, up 34-10 at half against Boston College. They went 41-10. So Clemson and Dabo has done this before, where they have been kind of out of their major goal, their main goals of the year, but has kind of kept it together. Is this the start of that going on? They're favored by 9.5 on Saturday against SMU, who's better than these teams, but certainly not what they had last year.
I think Clemson is okay, but their goals. Last year they got into this thing by sneaking into the ACC championship game and winning it. They've got 2 losses in conference. There are 5 teams that are still undefeated in the ACC.
No, they're not making it a playoff.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
they're not making the ACC championship game.
You said, are they done? I think they're done as far as the playoff or sneaking into the ACC title game.
That's a given.
Okay.
I gave that. But now that their main goals are done, are they showing this life again? Because they're destroying teams and they're cashing tickets right now.
Yeah, they've definitely shown some life, but they've also played 2 atrocious teams. North Carolina,
second worst in Power 4, only ahead of Oklahoma State.
And Boston College, who I didn't think was quite this bad, has just really, really faded. I mean, after they got blown out by Clemson, or before they got blown out by Clemson, they got blown out by Pitt. So I thought in the first month of the season, BC was not awful, and now they really, really look awful. So I want to see Clemson do it against a better team, and SMU qualifies there. They're a better team than the ones they played the last 2 weeks.
We're trying to cash tickets.
I know.
I understand that.
Oh,
okay. But
you want to know if I like them minus 9.5? No, I'm not laying 9.5. I'm not laying. I don't trust them that much. No.
My part is with this coach, and he's goofy as hell. Okay, I get that, but he has kind of kept it together when their main goals have been eliminated. So, and everybody's cashed easily. Led 2 rocking chairs the last couple of weeks. So we'll see. I know who's not betting North Carolina. Our buddy Matt Humans tomorrow on the show. And in the quarterback change, Zachary's Eli Holstein had a great year last year and was bigger things. And it was on his way. And, Charlie, being a bench, he's still top 20 in yards per attempt in the country. Okay? And Mason Heinzman gets a surprise. Heinzel gets a surprise start against was Boston College. So yes, everybody. And he threw for 323. Down at Tallahassee, first road start, hostile environment. Not as hostile it was, a month ago when Alabama came to town, or Miami just a week before that. But 2 starts, Charlie. He's thrown for 321 and 323 in those 2. And he had 2 TDs and 2 interceptions in this game. But it was constantly kind of extended plays and, making decent decisions and game-winning decisions. And I got to tell you, man, he seems like he's got a little something to him. So I'd just really be surprised if he does not finish the season if he stays healthy.
He also brings a running component. He's run for almost 100 yards in these last 2 games. Holstein really didn't give you that. And some of those plays have been difference makers. You know, he's moved the sticks a few times. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he can move a little bit, and I think that gives another dimension.
Holstein would run a little bit. It was uncomfortable looking at times, but he is.
He had a high of 41 yards, and that was against Duquesne.
This guy definitely. He's not a stiff back there by any stretch.
No, he
look,
can run.
he's a pretty good athlete, but Heinzel is more of a threat with his legs, no doubt about it. Over here at Cantina. Rio Cantina Mexican Grill here in Brewley, just off of LA1, behind Walk-Ons. Our other location is over in Prairieville, and kind of like the part of the Las Palmas restaurant family of restaurants. So you're always going to get a great place, clean place, fresh food, and solid service. There's no doubt about it. You know exactly what you get, and it's a very affordable also. And every Wednesday at both Rio Cantina Mexican Grill locations, it's $5 margaritas, and it's $5 kids menu. So that's every Wednesday. So tonight, you're looking to unwind a little bit, get past that hump day, and also allow the kids to get a good meal and at affordable price. Kids night every Wednesday at Rio Cantina, $5 margaritas as well.
Live at Rio Cantina, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion.
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
You was ready?
Yeah.
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hannigrove. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch as we make our return to Bin 77 in Perkins Row. Matt Humans and Dwayne Colucci both join us from Las Vegas as we look towards a big college football weekend. Live at Lunch from Bin 77, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Buzzy Hydell for the Morris Insurance Group. Outdoorsmen in the state might be having a tough time right now finding policies to fit on the properties they love. If you've got a hunting camp, a boat, or an RV that has been difficult to insure, we want you to look again. For owners or renters, the Morris Insurance Group can help you all the way to the duck camp or the fishing boat. We also have policies on coastal properties, including flood insurance to let owners protect themselves in the event of damage. For your camps, boats and trailers, four-wheelers, ATVs, and tractors, get a quote today at morris-ig.com or call 225-201-0007.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. An authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. total maintenance.
1950 Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. Then Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
I don't know if I can fade Sam Houston again. UTEP's on the other side. I don't know if UTEP at 1-5.
Oh man, that's Rohan's kid, Micah Davey, the tackling machine.
A road favorite at 1-5. I don't know, man. That's a little tough. I love Roe, but I don't know, man.
New Mexico State almost.
Sam Houston came back last week against Jacksonville State. It made it a 2-point game at the end and lost.
Oh, okay.
And so a little bit of a heartbeat off.
We could go with Maceros, the Delaware Blue Hens. They lost a brutal one that Friday night a couple of weeks ago. They are at Jacksonville State tonight.
Jacksonville State.
All three underdogs could have won outright last night. All three. You know, Arkansas State banged the trash can. He won last night. Florida International, no problem at plus 310. Cashes that ticket easily.
I could probably take Delaware.
And New Mexico State gave up a touchdown. Kickoff return for a touchdown, and a fumble punt that cashed in for a touchdown. And then the game-winning touchdown score with less than a minute to go. New Mexico State had them beat. So it would have been all three underdogs winning outright last night.
Tell you honestly, I'm looking more forward to the baseball game tonight. The Mariners have got a real chance to get to the World Series.
Kirby,
they're going home 2-0.
Big advantage for Kirby tonight against Bieber. You know, former number one pick. He's more informed. Bieber's been battling injuries all season long.
They get to 3-0 if they win tonight. Man, they got a real shot for their first
thank
World
our friends
Series.
over here at Cantina Laredo. We rotate between Las Palmas and Cantina Laredo. Rio Cantina. Their locations on a monthly basis. So, man, Rio Cantina for $5 margaritas and $5 kids menu tonight.
Tomorrow at Ben 77. Have a great day, folks.
One makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of OC.
Y'all have a good one.
Situation with the law, call us today, and we can help you resolve your problem.